Hello. We did book 1. I've officially finished book 2. So this is another round of, I think I call the video The Law of the Labels, Ink Names versus AI. So the brief premise is just chucking names into AI, ink names, without really any context, kind of seeing what it spits out at me. People have mixed feelings about AI. I've kind of moved away from it for the ink mixing stuff that I've been exploring, but I do find it interesting to go out of all the written language consumed in a large language model to put in a really non-contextual prompt, what comes back out. So this is the A7 Midori MD notebook, ink on the back. Have I gotten the right one? I have. So let's do a bit of a flip through. First up, we have Tyrian Purple from Diamine. I really like this ink, it's so beautiful. It is named after the ancient, can't say that, Phoenician city of Tyre, which is modern day Lebanon. Tyrian Purple was a very prestigious dye in ancient times, made from snails found in the Mediterranean coast. Maybe it should be on the Mediterranean coast. No idea literally what that last sentence says, but it symbolized royalty, power, and high status. So, Tyrian Purple. Pen BBS Lhasa City. Lhasa City means the place of the gods in Tibetan. It is one of the world's highest cities, 3,650 meters above sea level. It is the spiritual and religious heart of Tibetan Buddhism. The city carries deep symbolism of devotion, empire, exile, and pilgrimage. Gorgeous ink. Bungle Box Ink of Na'atora, which is a really nice wet red with quite a massive golden green sheen if you're after a red ink, which I don't know too much about, but this one writes really nicely. Naotora, or Lee Naotora, pardon me, is a notable 16th century Japanese figure. She was a feudal's not a word, feudal lord during the Sengoku period. Naotora ruled the Lee clan, which is now the Shizuoka prefecture. Naotora is often remembered as a symbol of resilience, quiet leadership, and strategic patience. And any moment for a strong female lead, I am here for. There you go. Mad Hatter from Warringal. Mad Hatter is a fictional character from Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland from 1865. The character is obsessed with tea, eccentric and speaks in riddles and nonsense. He was famous for hosting a never-ending tea party and wearing a top hat. It's crazy, like I wrote this, I took my time, and still half of it doesn't make sense. And my phone's just told me it's about to die, so I shall keep going. Milkage Grey, number 10, Milkage Grey from Kobe Ink, a dark purple that does quite a nice black halo border sheen. Milkage, a state or quality of being milky, which kind of reminds me of like when you say the word moist and it feels a bit gross. A state of being milky. Ugh. When the term is used with or for describing colour, it means the colour has lightened and softened, as if it has been mixed with milk. Ferris Wheel Press Moss Park Green. The vibe, calm, grounded, outdoorsy. Think damp moss on stone, shaded lawns, old parks and garden paths. What is moss? I then asked ChatGPT. Moss is a small, non-vascular plant that typically grows in damp and shaded environments. Moss lacks roots, flowers, and seeds. It reproduces via spores. And it's got a really nice brown to it as well, which makes sense in terms of moss and that more earthy feel versus something floral. Private Reserve Inks Arabian Rose, another beautiful pinky purple. Arabian rose is considered to be a poetic and evocative term rather than a strict botanical one. It is associated with luxury, perfume, incense, and spices. The term may evoke connections to roses from the Middle East or the Arabian Peninsula. It is symbolically linked to hospitality, beauty, and ritual. Colour versus brunch date. And I spelled colourverse wrong. I spelled it the Australian way. A brunch date poem by ChatGPT. Sunlight spills across the table, coffee warm between our hands. Laughter clinks like cutlery, easy and unguarded. By the last bite, the day feels softer, as if it is rooting for us. Bit of like, I guess more like I know it's not the structure of a haiku, but not a rhyming poem. Some prose from ChatGPT. Pannonia and Amarillo's collaboration of Rosa Mexicano, ink that needs no introduction if you've watched any of my recent videos, as it's my daughter's goat ink, greatest of all time. Rosa Mexicano is a strong and saturated pink colour that is strongly associated with Mexican culture and design. The colour was popularized in the mid-20th century by Ramon Valdiosera, a Mexican artist. Look at that sheen that comes through, beautiful. Diamine Monboddo's hat. Monboddo is an idiom that refers to something old-fashioned, eccentric, or stubbornly out of date. It is named after Lord Monboddo, James Burnet, born in 1714, who passed away in 1799. He was a Scottish judge and philosopher. Lord Monboddo was known for his unconventional views and for clinging to old habits. The most famous old habit was wearing an outdated style of hat. And this is what I love about this different version of exploration. Like, had no idea. But I look at that and I go, well, there is like something regal about this purple and royal to it. And yeah, I love the little, the historical side of, well, not the historical side of, but obviously these companies, they develop inks, and there's this whole other investigative and creative and historical part to it. That's what I was trying to say, versus just the color. And I could nerd out on that all day. Cat guards in the courtyard from Carpink. This is what ChatGPT said, not a very popular idiom or phrase, but usually refers to or represents quiet vigilance and subtle calm. It can also be used to represent an illusion of security. I really liked that idea. Like, I like the term illusion of security. And I guess a bit pertinent in some of the horrors of the world that we're experiencing at the moment. And another just beautiful ink. This is wrong. This is mislabeled. This isn't Scabiosa. So skip. Diamine's collaboration with Cult Pen's Summer Sunset. Summer sunset evokes imagery of long shadows, warm air holding its breath, and colors stretching instead of fading, which is a beautiful description. I find this ink really dry though, so never really want to put it in a pen, but lovely description of a summer sunset. Fuku from Kobe Ink. I've almost run out of this sample, which is sad. I really like this ink. It's quite beautiful. Fuku means soft happiness and gentle good fortune. It is also used to describe a feeling of being pleasantly full of warmth, food, love, or luck, which is just, again, what a beautiful description. Pleasantly full of warmth, food, love, or luck. What a beautiful state of being that would be. Sailor Manyo Ume. You saw the ink of Naotora before, similar in the sense of the dark red with the sheen. This is a super sheeny ink for me as someone who doesn't use sheen. Ume often translates to or refers to a Japanese plum. It is actually closer to an apricot and used to make umeboshi, which is pickled plums. The dish is very salty and very sour, which is kind of cool. Frankly Scarlet from Robert Oster. A playful twist on the famous line from Gone with the Wind. The movie encountered many hurdles, such as going through 3 directors, and quite famously, Vivien Leigh being very open about disliking Clark Gable's breath, which I think is hilarious. I've never seen Gone with the Wind, full disclosure. Colorverse Martian. A Martian is a being from Mars, especially in imagery of imaginary science fiction references to aliens from Mars, the planet. Martian can also mean something that feels strange, alien, or totally unfamiliar. My relationship with this ink is still ongoing and evolving. The last pen I put it in, I didn't enjoy. There's something about the ink that intrigues me, but yeah, we're not totally aligned yet. So watch this space. We'll see what happens when I revisit it. Ferris Wheel Press's Storied Blue. Storied Blue, a blue that is, I'll start that again. Storied blue, a blue more than a literal colour, but one full of stories, histories, and memories. In short, a blue that remembers things. Well done, ChatGPT. Pen BBS number 178, Rose Quartz. Rose Quartz is a pale, I don't know what that says. It should say pale pink blush-coloured variety of quartz. It is often called the stone of love and is associated with emotional healing, self-compassion, and calm and gentle energy. And I have two inks called Rose Quartz, this one and the Pelican, and I definitely like this colour more. Fan Yan Tan's Spring White Space. ChatGPT struggled with this one, so I added the prompt, what comes to mind? The response, visuals of soft and milky whites compared to a stark white. Light drenched surfaces like sun on paper at 9 a.m. Now, ink makers out there, morning sun on paper would be a fantastic ink. This ink is new to me. I haven't been able to put it in a pen yet, so can't say too much about it. It did feel dry with the Iro Utsushi fine nib, and it is quite light. And then Colorverse Dust Storm to finish off. A dust storm is a weather event where strong winds lift loose dust, sand, or soil into the air. As a result, visibility is reduced. Dust storms are common in Australia, the Middle East, North Africa, and the US Southwest. Another ink that's new to me from those two from Pen Friend E, but a really cool color, incredible border and haloing, like amazing. And in that relationship of these kind of olivey browny greens that I am starting to enjoy. So there you go. I've done two. I only had two of these notebooks. I have another I got for Christmas, actually, an A5 MD notebook, and I'm thinking of maybe just taking it to Officeworks and cutting it down into A7 to get two more. We'll see how I go. But yeah, if you want me to keep going with this, let me know, because I don't know, I think it's really interesting. Just another little rabbit hole, but I find it really interesting. So a bit of a shorter video for you. I'm not going to ramble on. Let me know if you want me to keep going with this. If you feel so inclined, hit like and subscribe, and I will speak to you guys soon. Bye.